Have you set goals at the beginning of the year and by the end of the year you didn't achieve them? Or sometimes you write down your goal but you look at it, you don't feel excited. 3 ways to find out what's important for you to achieve in 2020. Hi everyone, Jade from Career Journey Professional, helping you to find and land in the career and lifestyle that's aligned with who you are, what you're best at, and fulfills you in your personal, unique way. Alright, so today I'm sharing it's a bit of a summary of me setting New Year resolution for the past 5 years. And for the past 2 years, I've actually organized sitting down, having quarterly personal offsets. So every quarter, I would sit down and review my goal, revise my goal, and then making sure I can achieve my goals. So I went through a bit of a journey, and I have something to share today from my own personal perspective as well. Hopefully will help you to set your goals more meaningful, that's more important to you and easier to achieve. So there are 3 ways we're looking at it. I'm very excited. Let's get started. So a little bit of a background, I guess everyone heard of the term New Year resolution, and I bet you probably have done it before. Sometimes maybe not New Year resolution, but you just set a goal. All right, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go to the gym, or I'm gonna lose weight. I'm gonna start a diet. I'm gonna be more productive. Or the list goes on. You may have set those goals, but you didn't actually end up achieving it, or it was too hard, or you procrastinate for whatever reason. The way I look at it, it's not that you're not good at persisting, or it's not that you're not capable. I really think it's how you set the goals, or are the goals really important to you? What's the priorities? Are they realistic, or are you finding the ways that's easier for you to achieve? So I actually tried several different programs, and I invested in myself in different coaching as well to find out what's a better way to help myself to set goals. And even if you don't really click with the term of setting goals, you can use other phrases like your things you really want to achieve, how do you want to feel, your vision for 2020, however that works for you. So today I'm sharing 3 things. Up until now, I have to be honest, end of February now, I haven't actually finished my yearly goal. I've had a 10-year, like a theme, 10-year vision setting. That's taken me quite some time. So this week, but when I finish this video, this weekend, I'm finally gonna sit down and set my first quarterly goal. But I went through a lot of exercises. It took me about, up to now, probably 30 hours so far to revisit my goal for the last a decade, last year, reviewing the goals and then seeing what worked, what didn't work, and that's what I'm sharing today as well. So number 1, just looking at my I'm just looking at my notes. So number 1, one of the things that I learned from a very famous book I want to share today. The book is called Designing Your Life, but this is actually their workbook from that program, from that book. So I've been doing some of the exercises. So one of the things that I learned, which I think is really good, before you're setting goals, obviously you want to revisit some of the goals from last year, because some of them you may still want to achieve it, or if you did achieve something, you want to recognize that and own that for yourself. So when I'm doing that, I actually did one of the exercise in their program, which is called, let me find out if there's a name. Actually, no. So I did one of the exercise, which I find really helpful, is tracking your good time journal. I think I mentioned in one of my previous videos as well. So really actively tracking the good times and recalling them, writing it down, categorizing, understanding why is that a good time, and see if you can replicate that. But what I find useful is not just a good time. So what I find a lot of the times, our productivity, the time and energy we spend every day on work is very important. So they have this gauge. I'm not sure you can see that they have a engagement measure kind of thing, and also a energy measure kind of thing, which I reckon is really important both on the positive side, what's giving you more energy, what sort of activities you are fully engaged, which is great. If you fulfill both of them, like if it's something that's really engaging, you're really into it and gives you really positive energy, that's what we call in the zone, the flow, which is great. But what I find useful from this little exercise is also recognizing what are the activities that's really draining you, that's really giving you negative energies, or I look at it, if is it really productive, is it really necessary, is it really urgent to do them, and then you may want to eliminate them or minimize them, which is really helpful as well. So this is little tip number 1. So when you're actually setting goals, you want to minimize those, what I said, maybe things that's draining your energy, not so productive, not so important, not on your priority list when you're engaging. And also on the other end of the spectrum, you definitely want to maximize things that's in the flow. So that's giving you a lot of good positive energy vibes, or leaving you, when you finish that thing, you're left with more energy. And when you're doing it, you're fully engaged. So that's tip number 1 that I want to share, to go revisit the things probably last year or for the past 2 months. Now it's February 2020. Look at things in that way, and it would definitely help you to better manage not just your energy, your time, but also how you're feeling when you're doing things, which is very important, right? All right, so that was tip number 1, identifying the positive and negative factors that's not only affecting your engagement but also your energy level when you're at work or for life. All right, so tip number 2, which I think, again, is very important to look at it before you're setting your goals, or before you choose among all the things you want to achieve, what's important and what's not, is checking your belief or mindset. Checking, for example, you want to change your job to another company this year. You want to ask yourself, how positive do I feel towards this change? How do I feel if this is possible? Or out of 10, 0 to 10, what's my confidence level sitting at for me executing this plan? It's very important. Not only, this is actually the first part of my online coaching program that we're launching, my online school. Really excited. If you want to find out more, reach out to us. Anyways, so one thing is, I do want to check, I do want to have a mindset check or belief check to make you aware. I mean, if you are subconsciously or unawarely carrying a negative belief, believing this is going to be so hard, this is going to be so tough, this is going to be difficult, it is going to turn out in that way. And also, if you bump into hurdles, if you bump into difficulties when you're trying to carry out your plan, when you're trying to reach your goal, it's very easy you'll give up in that way. So that's why I do want you to check whatever goals you're setting down. How positive do you feel towards it? And if it's not a so positive statement or phrases, see how you can rephrase it, and just rain check on your mindset and just try to positively phrase it so that you're helping yourself to make it easier to be achieved. All right. Now here, I want to share a little example from last year, one of the achievements that I'm really proud of, I enjoy. It's a big thing. Do you believe in miracles? I used to be not so much of a believer, but now I do. And last year, one of my wish is really taking my parents out for a trip together for 2 weeks. I took them to Singapore, Malaysia, and it was for my mom's birthday, 60th birthday. And for that trip, I had to manifest a certain amount of money for 3 of us. And amazingly, within 2 weeks, I attracted clients, made the income, which is double more than my 2 weeks income. And that was all because first I believed in it. That's what I said, mindset. My belief was positive. I believe this is possible. And also taking the action, like reaching out and selling to client, and then really offering that service. I mean, it has to be the right kind of service to my clients, and I made it happen. That's one of the examples that I want to share. I mean, miracle can be a heavy word, but think out phrases that helps you to positively phrase it. All right, another thing that I want to share in terms of mindset and strategy is really break your goals down to the smallest incremental possible. For example, nowadays when I set goals, if it's a really big goal, say We have this 3 days workshop coming up, but there are a lot of things that's piling up to that. We have to run a free workshop to advertise the 3 days workshop, and we have to do a lot of the brochure, designing the marketing phrases, and then carrying out so many tasks to do. So the first step is really break it down to very, very small, the smallest possible goals or steps, so that you can carry out easily. So the first one, my first step is just in my calendar booking a time to talk to my business partner. That's my first step. Like, it's so easy, there's no way I can fail it. So that's what I mean. Like, you want to break it down to quarterly goals, monthly goals, weekly goals, and then down to so small goals, so it will be so easy for you to carry out. That's point number 2. All right, and point number 3, what I learned from my experience is, when you set your goals, you want to make sure or check if your goals are aligned with you. So when I say aligned, I'm not just saying that you have a time frame, or you have time and energy, or the priority list to finish that, but also you want to check that you when you achieve that goal, it's going to feel good. Or let me say that there is emotional factors or emotional satisfaction, motivation behind that goal. So you are more geared, more fired to achieve your goal. One of the good example is, I used to set goals, or for example, my income or how many clients I get, purely just based on numbers, because the industry, a lot of the very masculine way of setting goals is just based on numbers, achieve this and that, like having 200 clients a year, or having 6 grand, or number-based goals. I set it and I never achieved it because I'm not attached to it. I'm not motivated by it. I have no feeling whether I achieve or I don't achieve that goal. So one of the way is really checking in. For me, numbers doesn't really excite me. So for me, if I really want to set a goal on my income, I would more look at the things behind the income. What would money actually means to me? For example, I want to invest in learning NLP, or for example, the example I gave, I want to take my loved ones, important person out to have them experience travel in different places. Or for example, I want to invest in equipment to upgrade my office, having a beautiful painting, or even just when I travel, I can choose business class. Those tangible things that really makes me excited are the actual goals. Or let me say, so one of the guru that I follow, I like is Daniel Laporte. She has this big program based on setting goals purely based on emotions. That works as well. Like, figure out the key feelings that's important to you. Like, for example, how you want to feel. You may want to feel abundant, and what makes you feel abundant at your career. Maybe you have 2 or 3 mentors, or maybe you have 2 or 3 new projects, and then so you work from the feeling backward to turn out your goal. So now I work both ways. I check my goals if there are feelings behind it. If not, I will look at my feelings and what activities or achievements would make me feel like they are feelings, excitements that I look forward to actually achieve that goal. All right, so that's actually 3 things I summarized. Me and my best friend, we spent the last 25 to 30 hours. It's been over 5 weeks. Every weekend we meet up using 2 to 3 hours, checking out and setting our New Year's goal. And that's some of the key points that I learned. So hopefully that should shed some light on for you as well when you set your goals. And I'm very happy to say last year about 80% of my goals are based on feelings, or they are excitement or motivation behind it, and I achieved them. Woohoo! And some of them I overachieved, and I manifest miracles like I shared before. So I'm very excited. I love it. It's working for me. So if you are very into setting goals or having a plan, having a strategy on a yearly basis, on a quarterly basis, those are the tips I'm sharing to you. Again, if you do need help with your career or life, do reach out to us. Otherwise, I invite you to join our Facebook group. I'm doing more live there, sharing things on a daily basis. I will see you there. I'll see you next video. Leave a like, subscribe. I'll see you. Bye.